Good morning and welcome back. It's day 7 of our Lent readings in 2021, and continuing our series in the Old Testament. We're in the book of Judges today. Now, we did Joshua yesterday. Joshua led Israel into the promised land across the Jordan, and now Joshua has died, and what we have next is a series of judges. In fact, there's 12 judges in the book of Judges. These are people that lead Israel. Now, a judge is not a legal term in this sense. A judge is someone raised up by God to lead Israel. And that's opposed to, say, a monarch, where a monarch would, when a monarch died, they would hand that title on to their children. A judge, when a judge died, God would raise up somebody else. And neither is it a political leader who was voted for by the people. The emphasis is that God is leading Israel and God is choosing their leaders. So it's not done by the people. And it's not done by one leader handing on to another. God would raise them up. The problem for the book of Judges and the whole history of Israel is that they never managed to fulfill what they were commissioned to under Joshua, to drive out the other nations from the land. And so while they lived in Canaan, there were still other nations around, other peoples. And these people followed various idols, and Israel were so quick to give up the living God and follow the idols of the nations around them. It was like maybe a smoker trying to give up when living amongst other smokers who leave packets of cigarettes around the house. And Israel just constantly left the Lord and went to other gods. When that happened, God would send other nations in to conquer Israel, much as in that when we read Deuteronomy a couple of days ago. That was the promise of blessings and curses. If you neglect the Lord, other nations will come in. Well, that's what happened. And they would oppress Israel, and after a while they would cry out to the Lord. The Lord would hear their prayers, and that would raise up a judge who would deliver them from the enemy. Then after a while the judge would die, and Israel would go back to the old ways, and other nations follow idols, and other nations would come in, and it will go round and round in a cycle. And that's the cycle for the book of Judges, very much so. And amongst those judges we have people like Samson, who delivered Israel from the Philistines, Deborah, who delivered them from Jabin and Sisera, Gideon, who delivered them from the Midianites, and Ehud, a left-handed man who delivered them from the Moabites. I'm going to read a passage from Judges 3, from verse 7 to 15, and this just typifies what happens. That's that cyclical story throughout Judges. Let's read this. The Israelites did evil in the eyes of the Lord. They forgot the Lord their God and served the Baals and Asherahs, they're two of the idols. The anger of the Lord burned against Israel, so that he sold them into the hands of Cushan-Rishathaim, king of Aram Naharaim, to whom the Israelites were subject for 8 years. But when they cried out to the Lord, he raised up for them a deliverer, Othniel, son of Kenaz, Caleb's younger brother, who saved them. The Spirit of the Lord came on him, so that he became Israel's judge and went to war. The Lord gave Cushan-Rishathaim, king of Aram, into the hands of Othniel, who overpowered him. So the land had peace for 40 years, until Othniel, son of Kenaz, died. Again, the Israelites did evil in the eyes of the Lord, and because they did this evil, the Lord gave them into the hands of Eglon, king of Moab. He gave power over Israel, getting the Amorites and the Amalekites to join him. Eglon came and attacked Israel, and they took possession of the city of palms, that's Jericho. The Israelites were subject to Eglon, king of Moab, for 18 years. Again, the Israelites cried out to the Lord, and he gave them a deliverer, Ehud, a left-handed man, the son of Gera the Benjamite. That is the pattern throughout the book of Judges, and to some extent throughout the whole of Israel's history. It's both, in a sense, disturbing but also reassuring. It's disturbing because it shows the nature of humanity, that we're so quick to give up following the Lord and follow other things. But reassuring, because it shows us the nature of God, who can hold justice, mercy and grace all in his hand at the same time, and will always hear his people when they cry out to him. Blessed be his name. Till next time, have a blessed day.